So the market is crashing. What should I do? Should I sell? Should I let go of all this stock? Now, some of you guys are probably asking yourself the same question. And I'm just going to give you my 2 cents on it. First of all, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just going to share with you exactly what I'm doing with my stock. You can take that with a grain of salt. You can do the opposite. You can do whatever you want to do. But here's the thing: there's a lot of people are scared, right? And they're scared of the recession, all this stuff that Trump is saying, tariffs, what's this going to do to the economy? And I just want to remind you of the old Warren Buffett quote. And this is just an age-old like adage for investing, and that's when there's fear, when everyone's fearful, it's time to be greedy. And when everyone's greedy, it's time to be fearful. So, what does this mean? Because this is a prime example of everybody being fearful right now. The fact that everybody's asking themselves, what's going to happen with the economy? What's going to happen with interest rates? I don't know about this. Like, are we going to go into a recession? Is the stock market going to keep dropping? This is a prime example of what uncertainty and fear looks like in the market. And so, because of this doesn't mean that you should go sell all of your stocks. And this is what I like to do, right? Um, and it's what I'm doing right now. It's what I'm going to continue to do in situations like this. Is instead of looking at the headlines and the stories and the news and all the speculation of what's going to happen and trying to like guess what's going to happen with the market and the economy, just look at the stock. Like, okay, what is the S&P 500 doing? Okay, it dropped 5%. Then it dropped another 5% the next day, like roundabout, on average. So it dropped about 10%. It might be 15 now. I haven't checked it yet today. Um, but okay, so it dropped like around 15%, right? That just means that most of the stocks are on a discount right now. It just means that they're cheaper right now. And so what I did was I just bought a little bit more of them. I didn't go pull out money from other investments. I didn't take money out of my high yield savings account so that I can go buy more stocks right now. But I just spent a little bit more, right? Normally, I would have been dollar cost averaging and buying some stock uh, on Thursday, anyways, which is the day that it started to go down. It's either Thursday or Wednesday, one of the two. I think it was Thursday, and that's the day that I bought some. And then I saw it went down again Friday, and then I just bought that same amount again on Friday. And now I'm leaving it at that. And the next time that I buy stock is going to be next month around the first, and I'm going to buy my stock then, just like I do every single month. So I bought a little bit more because it's at a discount. I didn't liquidate other investments um, so that I can buy like just a crap ton. And that's because I'm not really sitting on cash like that. If I just had a bunch of cash ready for a situation like this, then yeah, you can bet I would just be deploying it and buying it. But the whole thing here is like, I know that even though I bought some extra, I'm not going to see returns on that for like 20 years. And this is the way that I encourage you guys to think about this, because I've done this the other way and just lost money where I'm like trying to look and get returns right away. And really, it's like the S&P 500 itself averaging a 10% rate of return year after year, that takes place over a time period of like 20 years. So if you're expecting to have your money in the markets for 20 years, then you could pretty much guess that's what you're going to get every year, 10%, 10%, 10%, especially if you keep investing your dividends. And so just keep your money in there for 20 years. And so even the extra money that I put in on Friday, I put it in there knowing like I'm not going to see any of this for 20 years. And that's okay. I'm not waiting for it to spike back up and then try to sell it. It's like, no, just put in whatever you can afford to just have disappear right now. And I heard Kevin O'Leary say this on I think it was a YouTube video or something like that, but he was doing an interview on some news outlet. And he was saying that that's basically the same thing that he did. He's like, I just bought some more stock and and that the market's going to rebound and correct itself. The only time that you have to actually worry about losing money in the stock market when it's going down is if you're putting your money into a specific company and that company goes bankrupt and insolvent, where it's like the company just disappears. Then, yeah, you don't get your investment back, right? So you lose everything then. But if you have your money invested in companies like Meta or Apple, like they're not going bankrupt, right? Um, uh, Google, they're not going bankrupt, regardless of what the stock market's doing. So that's fine. If you have it in the S&P 500, you're going to be fine. Just leave it in there. Don't do anything. Don't make any rash decisions. When everybody else is panicking and making bad decisions because they're reacting, this is when we have to have it like intention with our actions and just buy a little bit more stock if you can. If you can't, then don't. Just stick to your dollar cost averaging. That's what I'm doing. And when I saw Kevin O'Leary talk about this, he says that he looks to sell other assets to dump money into stock when he sees that it drops 20% or more. And so if he sees that it drops 20% or more, and if I see that, then I might take some money out of my high yield savings account and then put it in a stock because I'm going to get a much higher return when that happens than I am just having it parked in my high yield savings account. And so that's what I would encourage you guys to do. And also remember, when you do put money in, if you do put some extra money in, like I did on Friday, guess what? The market dropped more after that. I'm not trying to like time it so that I'm putting money in at the bottom. Even if it's going down, it's like, okay, I put some money in, I put some money in, I put some money in as the stock is like dropping over time. That's okay because over the next 20 years, all of those points, it's still going to be profitable. Stock is going to be up higher than each one of those points. So, like, my advice is like, stop listening to what everybody's saying about what to do because the stock market's going down. Chances are, if you're watching this video, if you found this, you've probably seen a bunch of other ones. They're probably all over your feed. Just look at the actual stock, look at the numbers, look at what the stock has done over the last 50 years. Don't look at like the last 5 years. Look at the last 50 years and see what the stock does and how it trends, and then look at what it's doing right now. And then you're like, oh, okay, like there's a high probability that it's going to continue doing this. And like, and I say high probability because we don't know. No one really knows. Anybody who tells you that they know exactly what the stock market is doing and why, it's like, dude, stop bullshitting. But like, it's reasonable to expect that it continues doing what it's been doing over the last 50 years. It's only 100 years old, about. And so that's what I would recommend. That's what I'm doing. And remember, I am not a financial advisor. I just really like stock investing, finance, and accounting. I'm going to school for accounting right now, and this stuff just really interests me. And so, like, here's the thing: don't freak out. Maybe put a little bit more money in investments. Go live your life. Stop watching the news. Stop watching all this stuff. I went out surfing today, and like and just got away from screens and wasn't watching any of this stuff. Funny story about going surfing though, and this just this kind of ties into this. We don't want to be reacting out of fear because all everybody's scared right now about something that's not actually happening. Fear serves a purpose for sure. It saves us. It keeps us from getting hit by a truck or something like that, or falling off a cliff. That's what fear is for, right? But you know that all this stuff that's going on right now with what everybody's saying about, oh my God, what's gonna happen? It's like it's not a tangible danger like falling off a cliff is, because as soon as I put all my phones away and I go step out on the beach and I just hear the ocean, like, oh, everything's fine. But I got out in the water today and there's like this toxic algae bloom going on in California right now. It's been going on for like the last 30 days or something like that. And so it's not toxic to humans, but what it's been doing is it's been infecting the marine life. So, like sea lions, dolphins, fish, and it's been causing them to have really aggressive and erratic behavior and even like beach themselves and then they die on the beach. I've seen multiple dead dolphins on the beach going out surfing over the last couple of weeks. And so I was out there today. I was the only one in the water, and this sea lion, I'm just sitting out in the water on my board. This sea lion like pops up. It's maybe 20 feet away from me. It pops up out of the water, and it's just staring at me like menacing. Like its head is sticking up. It's huge, and it's just looking directly at me. Usually they don't do that. Usually they glance at you and then they like go on about their day and leave. This thing was just staring at me. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's time to go in, because I had a little bit of fear. I knew that these animals were acting aggressively. I talked to a surfer at the beach just 2 days ago that actually got attacked by one when we were out there. It kept biting his surfboard, and he had to like fight it off with his surfboard before he came in. So I was like, okay, maybe it's time to come in. And so I turn around and I start paddling towards the shore, and I look over my shoulder. There's no waves at this point, so I can't just catch a wave in. I look over my shoulder, and I had probably moved like 20 feet towards the beach. I was probably a couple hundred feet out from the shore when I saw this thing. And I moved like 20 feet towards the beach, and I look back, and the sea lion is just as close. It's following me, right? And it's still just staring at me. And I was like, oh God. And I turn back around. I start paddling. And then I turn back around to see where it is. Can't see anything. In that moment, I'm terrified. I'm like, do not get attacked by a sea lion today. Right. And and so then I just turn around, I keep paddling, and then I see this couple walking on the beach, and they're pointing at me. They're not far from me. They're looking out at the ocean, and the guy is pointing like kind of behind me, and he's showing his wife the sea lion that's behind me. So I turn around and I look, and this thing is literally like 10 feet away from me. It's closing in on me. I was like, oh my God. And then like I see him, me and the guy on the shore, we like lock eyes, and he's like, dude, come in. And so I start paddling, and then I like get to like knee deep water. I get up and I run in, and I turn around, and this thing is literally like right there by the shore. Like he just basically sent me in. Like the sea lion showed up and was like, "Nah, dude, like get out of here," and like chased me all the way into the shore. And so this is a time where it's like it makes sense to have some fear and to take a different action, right? Sea lions are attacking people in this area, and so right now, and there's a sea lion chasing me in the ocean. So maybe I should get out, right? But like this is not the same as all kinds of newscasters saying what they think is going to happen with the economy when it's not happening to you specifically, right? Of course there's companies that have laid off some people already. There's companies that have cut costs. Like there could be a recession coming. But like even when there is, even if not when, but if there is a recession coming, it does not mean that you need to go sell all your investments and like bunker up and like brace yourself. Like there's all these videos saying it's over, stock market collapse, brace yourself, brace for impact. And it's like it's all this fear mongering bullshit. It's like just treat this like every normal day when you're looking at your investments, and you will be okay.